notice, and this is the typical copyright. We continue with mathematics syllabus 2018 for CSEC. As of January 2026, this syllabus has not been revised, but there are plans to change the structure of the exam from 2028 and onwards, with a few pilot projects now being conducted in a few Caribbean countries. The syllabus itself remains unchanged, the content of the syllabus, that is. The two main planned changes are: one, to split the exam into two parts, and two, there will no longer be any alternative sections. All sections will be tested. Schedule of videos, as you already know, these first three sections here, all 51 videos have been published in their entirety on YouTube. For section 4, 5 of those 17 have been published on YouTube in their entirety. Section 5, statistics, 5 of those 18 have been published on YouTube in their entirety. And for section 6, algebra, 7 of those 22 have been published on YouTube in their entirety. We are now at section 7, relations, functions, and graphs. This is the 18th of 26 videos. After that, of course, we have to consider section 8, geometry and trigonometry, and then finally section 9, vectors and matrices, and hopefully by April, May 2026, this should all be finished. Please note this disclaimer down here. This schedule is just a projection, and it is not to be interpreted as a contract with anybody. Just a reminder that section 1, that is made up of 33 videos, have all been published on YouTube in their entirety, especially since this section forms the foundation on which the rest of the syllabus is based. So please make sure you look at these 33 videos and know them very well. Another reminder, you need to know the times tables from 2 to 12, especially since calculators are not allowed in paper 1. If we reconsider section 1, these 33 videos here that are all published on YouTube in their entirety, some of these videos are even applicable in primary schools, for the students themselves, for teachers to use maybe as in the inverted classroom, and for parents who think they may not have enough knowledge of mathematics to help their children for CSEC. This is CSEC work, and quite a lot of this is done in the primary school. It is the first part of the CXC syllabus for CSEC mathematics exam. For example, if we extend this blue box here, you can notice video 6, it says add, subtract, multiply, and divide whole numbers. But before students can do that, they have to be able to know about place values. And then video 7, it says add, subtract, multiply, and divide decimals. That is work done in maybe grade 4 and even grade 3 in the primary school. Video 8 talks about add and subtract fractions, and video 9 in section 1 deals with multiplication and division of fractions, and so on. These are all work done in the primary school, depending on what grade, whether it's grade 3, 4, 5, or 6. From section 2, as I already pointed out, all 12 of those videos have been published on YouTube in their entirety. Section 3, on sets, all 6 of these videos have been published on YouTube in their entirety. Section 4, measurement. Some of these have been published on YouTube in their entirety, as indicated in yellow. The others are only partially published on YouTube. If you need to have full access to these videos that are only partially published on YouTube, please see directions in the description below. Section 5, statistics. These 5 videos that you see indicated in yellow here have been published on YouTube in their entirety. The others are partially published. Again, if you need full access to those videos that are only partially published, please see directions in the description below. Section 6, algebra. These 7 videos have been published on YouTube in their entirety, especially since algebra seems to be a problem area for learners. The others are partially published on YouTube. Again, if you need full access to these videos that are partially published on YouTube, please see directions in the description below. Section 7, which is where we are right now, this has 26 videos. Before we go on, recall I said in the introductory video that you will need a good math textbook or maybe a set of 2 to get more practice questions, especially. CSEC recommends these on the right here. From those, I will recommend these last 2 down here, especially since they form a very good 2-volume set of math textbooks that is quite adequate for the current and the future proposed changes in the structure of the CSEC math examination. This is a picture of volume 1, Mathematics, a complete course with CXC questions by Raymond Tulsi. And this is a picture of volume 2. Please note this disclaimer down here. I get no financial or other benefits from the sale of these books. Also, as of late 2024, a website with AI interactivity has been made available free of cost that deals with past CSEC math questions only, specifically from paper 2. It is extremely important that you become familiar with how CSEC sets its questions for paper 2 and what will be considered good or correct answers to such questions. This is the URL for that website. On the next slide, I will show you what the home page for that website looks like. This is the home page. You would need to register first and then subsequently sign in. But remember, I said it is free. This is the URL again up here. I will include that URL in the description below so that you can easily click on it and be redirected to that website. Just another reminder that this formula sheet you see on the left here is provided for CSEC math examination papers. This formula sheet is included in the syllabus. If you don't have a full copy of the syllabus, then there will be a link in the description below from where this formula sheet can be downloaded. This is the top part of that formula sheet, so you can see it a little better. I am going to state the obvious here. You do not need to memorize these formulae on this formula sheet, as this sheet, as I just said, will be provided during the examination. And this is the below part of that same formula sheet. And while you do not need to memorize these formulae, you do need to know when and how to use them. So, section 7, relations, functions, and graphs, page 1, these 5 objectives here. we have completed all of those already. Page 2 up to 9 objectives, we have completed all of those already. Next page, up to objective 13, we have completed all of those already. And the next page, up to objective 17, we have completed all of those already. This page, up to objective 20, well, we are now at objective 18. A brief preview of how far we need to go with this section tells us that that's objective 22, and then we need to reach objective 26 to complete this section, section 7. So you know where we are and where we need to reach. So as I said, we have completed objective 17, which was video 17. These that you see indicated here in yellow, those have been published in their entirety on YouTube. These others are only partially published on YouTube. When I finish this one we are working on right now, video 18, that will only be partially published on YouTube. And as it relates to how the videos from this section will be published or have been published, as you can see, we are now here. So above are the yellow ones that have been published in their entirety and the blue ones that have been partially published. So objective 18, and it says derive the inverse of a function. Now that is familiar ground. We have done that before. And the explanation given here is inverse of f and the inverse of fg, composite function. We have done both of these. This is mainly review. Recall from the last objective, which was objective 17, where you had to state the relationship between a function and its inverse. And then it talks a little about composition of functions. And we divided that video into 3 parts, as you see here. Of necessity, the principles deriving the inverse of a function had to be covered in the last objective. And that's why I am saying that this video is mainly a review. So all that concerns us here is to find the inverse of a given function, and we know how to do that already from the last video, and of a composite function. We also know how to find composite function, and we know how to find inverse of a function. So as I said, most of the work we will be doing here is review. So part A, let's deal with inverse of a function. Now let's talk about the concept of the inverse of a function. An inverse function, inverse f of x, is a function that undoes the original function f of x, meaning if f of x is equal to y, then inverse f of y is equal to x, essentially swapping inputs and outputs. To find an inverse, replace f of x with y, swap x and y, and then solve for y. Now, don't confuse inverse f of x with 1 over f of x. They are two different things. And invertibility, a function must pass the horizontal line test, be 1 to 1, to have an inverse that is also a function. The domain and the range, the domain of f becomes the range of inverse f. So the objective was state the relationship between a function and its inverse. According to this syllabus, This is what you are supposed to know. The relationship between a function f of x and its inverse f of x is that their composition is commutative and results in x.